We start with our top focus on the Indian Premier League and the season gone by. The curtains are all set to be drawn on season 7 after a cracking final that we're expecting in Bangalore tomorrow. To talk more about the final and also the season gone by, former Indian spinner Nikhil Chopra with me in the studio. Also our consulting editor Boria Majumdar joins us from Kolkata. We'll take their views on just what they like the best and perhaps the worst from this season. But we also asked our viewers and we prepared a special list ourselves. The outstanding stats of this year's IPL. Were it the stars from foreign land, the sixes, the players or the controversies, or perhaps all of this combined? Here's a special report on why people will remember IPL 2014.
For starters, Yusuf Pathan scored the fastest 50 ever in the IPL. He did this just off 15 balls. A few days later, Suresh Raina scored the second fastest 50. His half-century came off 6th qualifier. An incredible 693 sixes have been hit. That almost 12 sixes every match. Now that's way over the best achieved in 2008. And yes, the target of 200 plus was overhauled not once, but twice.
Certainly there was quite a drama on field this season of the IPL. We asked our viewers, our friends who are watching us on Twitter to connect with us and tell us what they like the best of this season of the IPL. And I'm very happy to see that a lot of them concur with what we had to say. Of course, we showed you how this IPL was different, had the maximum number of sixes ever hit in terms of total and per match as well. One of our viewers writes in, says Chris Lynn's match saver catch is the highlight for him. If KKR wins this season, that catch would be greatly responsible. And certainly, that is one of the highlights of this season. Catches, the best of the season, will get you up next in just a bit. Stain and AB de Villiers showing respect and warmth to each other. We had that in our story as well. Definitely a moment to savor out of this season. Mumbai versus RR match, last ball was the most exciting moment of the IPL this season, says another. We absolutely agree. Catch taken by Chris Lynn again was simply amazing, and we saw something which we'd never seen before. Certainly everyone will back that. Nikhil, what stood out for you in this IPL?
Well, first up, I guess that over the battle between AB de Villiers as well as Dale Steyn. And just when that the game got over, Steyn and AB de Villiers, hugged or shook hands. There was great sportsman spirit. And of course, the last night's 2 innings, Virender Sehwag as well as Suresh Raina. 100 runs when Suresh Raina was batting in the 6 overs. I mean, this was incredible. And if you talk about the worst, Shivani, the surprising to me was, being a Delhi man, where did Delhi's performances go? We only won 2 games.
Being a Delhi fan myself, I wonder this every season after the first
What's
2.
Happening?
Just what's happening with Delhi Daredevils. Boria, the highlights for you this season.
First and foremost, one has to say it's been fixing free, at least so far. And there, I would say my highlight are the fans. That's what makes this IPL, the IPL, a success, right? In the UAE, in India, after last season, all of us doubted what will happen to this brand. And I don't care for the BCCI or for the organizers had it not been for the fans. These are the people, people writing to you, writing to me, writing to Nikhil. Every match has been supported by special group of fans who love cricket. For me, the real winner of this IPL are this solid, loyal band of followers, the cricket fan, the passionate Indian cricket fan.
But you touched on the controversies, and we've had a little bit. 2 players were approached. The IPL head Sunil Gavaskar said, and of course the entire season started in the shadow of the spot fixing saga as well. What would your comment be about the tenure that Sunil Gavaskar has had as the head?
Impressive. 2 points stand out. One, yesterday he's made this comment about how difficult it is to bring change within the BCCI. So that's a big comment coming from somebody like Sunil Gavaskar. Second, importantly, a few days back he said the fourth estate, i.e. you and I, the media needs to be given more power. They need to be empowered and integrated. Huge statement coming from Mr. Gavaskar. So compared to last year, which was a rotten season as far as I'm concerned, this year under Mr. Gavaskar, certain things have improved, or at least the intent is there.
All right. It's been season of exhibition of some of the finest cricket on field, and that's the best part. As Boria mentioned, fixing free so far. As the curtains fall on another exciting season, let's take a look back at the stars who stood out. Let's start to talk about the top of the heap. Nikhil, Robin Uthappa or Glenn Maxwell, who was the most important player for their side at least, as far as taking them to the final is concerned?
I guess initially I'd say Glenn Maxwell, because he brought that belief into the Kings 11 side initially on. You know, saying that here's a new kid on the block, he can win you games single-handedly. And when he got those 3 big scores, you know, continuous 3 games, getting close to 100. Then of course, Robin Uthappa, you know, he's been
Turning them around.
Absolutely, he's been in and out of the Indian side. Unfortunately, when things started looking really good for him, he had to go for his shoulder surgeries, and he got both his shoulders operated. But it's good to see him get back and win games. I've always believed that Robin Uthappa has been a phenomenal player. He just needed to be a little more consistent and win you games, as in when he gets past 20s and 30s. So I'm glad that he's doing justice to his talent, and I just hope that this recall to the Indian side, he can go out there and serve with the Indian team for a long period of time.
Right, Boria, the stars for you this season, of course, there's no doubt Robin Uthappa, Glenn Maxwell will be right up there. Narayan, Mohit Sharma have done well with the ball. But what has been interesting to see is a lot of young Indian talent has shown, even though some of their bigger counterparts or more experienced counterparts didn't quite shine that much.
Correct, and Surya Kumar Yadav, we had done a show earlier, we were talking about him, Yuzvendra Chahal. You know, a lot of the spinners, even yesterday, if you see, it was Karanveer Singh and some of the others who turned the match back in favour of Punjab. Akshar Patel has made the Indian team for Bangladesh based on his IPL performances. That is good to see. We were talking about spinners, and here obviously Nikhil Chopra will talk much better than I will. You know, we were talking about where's the next spinner going to come from. Suddenly we see 3-4 people there who perhaps have the talent. There are a couple of leggies, couple of left-armers. So that's important for me. And just to answer on that Robin Uthappa point, look, for me, always what is more important is if you turn around the team from being, in the dumps. Kolkata Knight Riders, 6 matches, 2 wins. Suddenly, 8 wins on the trot and everything changes. That for me is the standout. And there, Robin Uthappa, for me, he's exceeded his expectations. Giving credit to Praveen Amre, he now can actually make the Indian team once again.
All right, that's a good note to end on. Boria Majumdar, Nikhil Chopra, thanks a lot for joining. Of course, these 2 gentlemen plus a lot of other special guests will join us in a mega preview of the IPL final on Sunday. But as we slip into a break, one thing that definitely stood out this season was the brilliant catches. It started badly this season.